him in on a fabulous Friday. There's a bit of history going on at the Open at Royal Birkdale. A couple of guys have shot 62 today. We could see some low scores. Man, I felt bad for Australian Lucas Herbert. They were on 59 watch with him, and he couldn't get the job done. Sam Burns, on the other hand, chipped in on 18 to shoot a 62. Those are the two guys there. More on that in a minute. Grizz make the semis in the Vegas Summer League. You know, Darian Newsom, I think the Grizzlies are a juggernaut when it comes to Summer League. What, they won in 19. 2 years ago, they made the finals. It means something to them. Atlanta yesterday didn't play anybody. They let their guys sit. It was 21-0. I think, was it 32-1 or something?
32-2 is the
32-2.
Mm-hmm.
After
Juggernaut,
one.
as you say.
I mean, come on. But I don't mind that. We're going to talk NBA with Andy Schiffman in our second segment. World Cup final is on Sunday. You know, they play on Saturday, too.
I got a pick yesterday out of Pete Pranica for the third place game. We talked some football.
He picked the third place game?
Absolutely, because I knew just by listening to y'all's conversation, he's an Arsenal fan.
Yes.
So I pulled that out of...
Did he go with England?
Yes, he's going with England. Absolutely.
But France is the favorite.
Yep, I think he's going with England, and I think he went with Spain.
Spain's the favorite in the Sunday final. Have you seen the prices on, I think it's SeatGeek? This is the most amazing thing. Let me see if I can find this real quick.
While you're looking for that, Pranica asked me, he's like, Darian, why are they even playing the third place game? And
money.
The money. That's what I told him. I couldn't remember the numbers you gave, but first, second, and third place all have different values.
Yeah, I think first of all, the FIFA's making money off that game, right? Television, and it'll be a full house. But I want to say it's a $13 million difference. So that's like what? There's 20 guys on the team? I mean, that's like $700,000 a man difference. I mean, you'd want to do that, I would think. The Sunday game, Spain-Argentina, is unreal. If you sit in the nosebleed corner of the end zone, you can get tickets for $9,171 at the Meadowlands. If you want to sit down low, sixth row, middle, 50-yard line, $58,687. You want to sit low corner on SeatGeek right now, you can get a seat for $14,661. End zone up high, 8,000, 8,800, somewhere in there. Like even nosebleeds near the 50-yard line are $10,000.
So day of, when it's crunch time, do those tickets go up or do they go down?
I think they go down. I mean, if it was the USA involved, now I don't know, because Argentinian fans may go crazy for this. A million of them here, and I think it was 2-1 Argentina over England in that semifinal when it came to fans. So I don't know. And let's be honest, it's probably the last time you'll see Messi in an Argentinian uniform. You'll see him in a Miami uniform in the MLS, but those Argentinians won't. So there's history involved here, plus back-to-back. So I don't know. That's a great question. I cannot answer. I just know that if I wanted to sit row 3 in the corner, I couldn't afford $43,000. If I wanted that row 6 in the middle, I couldn't afford $58,000. I don't know where people have the money to do that. I just don't. It's
all
incredible.
Third party. None of those are the original price. Those are all third parties. Those are taken up. You boost it. I buy the ticket for $300. Next thing you know, I sell it today for $9,000.
I should just be a ticket broker.
Some people do that for a living. Some people do.
I don't know how that's legal.
Not sure, but you have to have the initial capital, obviously, to purchase the tickets. But
right.
It's legal. It's legal. That's what SeatGeek and StubHub are for.
I know. Secondary market, it's legal. But to me, there should be some form
it's price gouging.
of price fixing where you can't go 10,000 times the initial price. I mean, if you're going to get $60,000 for a $300 ticket, that just seems a little unfair.
It is. Free market.
But then again, Seattle just sold for what did we?
9.5 bill.
9.5 bill. And what did he pay? 192 million, you told me?
192.
Wow. Only in America. God love this country. You know, part of the reason we love this country is there's always hope. And I don't know if you saw, but I thank my friend Greg Gaston for saying this at the end of the show and then showing me the Ross Dellinger story. So on Twitter, now X, Dellinger reports at Yahoo Sports that lawmakers will make an adjustment to the anti-expansion provision in the Protect College Sports Act so the G6 schools can move to P4 leagues. I'm assuming if you're allowing that movement that maybe there will be some language for protection that disallows the Big Ten and the SEC to pull away. But they can't stop them from expanding if they're allowing the G6 schools to come in. So I'll be really interested in seeing the exact verbiage they will use in order to allow this movement to continue and to still protect college sports from the SEC and the Big Ten taking the ball and going away. Let's stay tuned to this. But I mentioned hope. That's the key thing here. That means all this work that Memphis has done, the $200 million offer to the Big 12, the $250 some odd renovation of Simmons Bank Liberty Stadium, all the behind the scenes lobbying, the president and the athletic director going around and talking to all these schools. All of this work is not in vain. That hope, that chance, whatever it may be, for the next round to have Memphis included in survival mode of what is big-time college sports is still there. I loved everything about the Protect College Sports Act except for this lack of movement that would have disallowed any of the G6 schools in. And so now that hope, frankly, is still alive. And in my mind, that is huge. So I hope this passes. I hope the verbiage is where the Big Ten and the SEC are reasonable partners in all of this, and that there will be another round here, probably before 30, and that the University of Memphis has a shot to get into the Big 12 or the ACC, because those are the two leagues that would be the most likely. They're not going to get into the Big Two. We know that. But we know there is a chance the other way around. And that's what you got to hope for. And now that hope, which, I was worried was going to be dashed, that hope is still alive. As I recall, Darian, and I've been on vacation. I want to thank all the people from the Mississippi Broadcasting Association for inviting me down to this seminar, which was really a lot of fun in this little beautiful area right on Natchez Trace down in French Camp, Mississippi. And all of the major play-by-play guys from all of the schools in the state of Mississippi, including the ESPN Plus, the SEC Plus, all those guys. They were all there, and they talked to college students, and they talked to high school students. It was the second time I've done it. It's the fourth time they've done it. So I thank them for being there, but I've been away. But I think that Protect College Sports Act, did that pass in the House, but is questionable to pass in the Senate?
Questionable to pass in the Senate.
Yeah. But it did pass in the House, and it passed in the House without allowing the G6 schools in. So we'll see if it's amended, and then everybody amends it. You would hope that would be the case. All right, let's get back to the Open. And by the way, I picked Scotty Scheffler. Scotty Scheffler should be leading this tournament. My God, he's hitting such great shots. And the guy cannot putt. On the second hole today, he missed like a 7-foot straight putt. Just perfect, like uphill. Greg Gaston Thank you. Says, no, there has not been a vote anywhere yet on this. We'll double check that because I could have sworn Congress had passed it. And there's nobody quicker on the Google than my man Darian Newsom. So I do want to go to the Open Championship because I think they're going to go really loaded. And I mentioned, man, I felt bad. Lucas Herbert was just going along, and he had a birdie putt on 17 that would have given him a 60. 61, all he had to do then was par 18. 61 gives him the record for the lowest round in the history of the British Open. 5 times there have been 60, or 4 times there have been 62s. Now 5, now 6, because Sam Burns chipped in. But Lucas Herbert, I hate to say it, missed an easy birdie putt. And he missed an easy par putt. He could have shot 60 easily. Instead, it's a 62. Cam Young now has moved to 6 under. He's 3 under today. He's finished. How about the kid from Ole Miss, Jackson Suber? Today he finished his second round. He was 1 under today, not like the 5 under yesterday where he had the lead, but he's 6 under. He's just 2 off the pace. Sam Burns shot that 62 today. 5 under for the day. 8 under for the day. 5 under for the tournament. And then you got Bud Cauley and Wallace, and DeChambeau has gotten to 4 under now. He just birdied number 4. I'm looking again to see Scheffler, because Scheffler should have been at 3 under, and Scheffler remains at 2 under. He has even par for the 4 holes he's played today. Everybody's watching Fleetwood and Rahm. They are 2 under. There's a whole bunch of 2 under. Actually, 2 under gets you tied for 21st. And then Patrick Cantlay, who finished 2 under today, is at 1 under with a whole bunch of guys. We'll keep our eyes on it. There's a lot of good players playing right now. You have DeChambeau, Scheffler, Hatton, Fleetwood. I think McIlroy might be done. McIlroy is done. He shot 3 under today, so he's 1 under. He's going to make the cut because that's tied for 36. All right. Grizz beat Atlanta last night. I mentioned that earlier. 96-64. So they have made the semifinals where they'll play Houston. I think they're major favorites in that game against Houston. I don't know why. You have any sense why Atlanta shut down their 2 big guys that they got in the draft? I don't get that.
I couldn't give you a good answer.
Well, we'll talk with Andy Schiff in a little bit about that. It's just typical NBA philosophy. Let's not play the guys. Let's save them. They could hurt their toe. It was 21-0. 32-2. And the Grizzlies never took their foot off the gas. 96-64 was your final. Boozer, boy, was he efficient. 10 of 13 last night.
Made up for their previous game.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. He had a bad game. Well, Coward's been terrible. Awful. Coward's tried too hard, I think.
That's exactly what Pranica said yesterday. He's using Summer League to explore, basically.
23 points for him. You know, the Grizzlies wanted to win this. They didn't have to play Coward, right? I mean, when's the last time the league had a guy who was all rookie NBA playing the Summer League?
Playing back-to-backs in Summer League.
And playing every game. I mean, the Grizzlies want to win this. It's okay. I mean, I'm all for playing the guys. Let us see them. 24-7 for Boozer after a stinker. Well, he had a good second half in that game. He just had a really bad first half. And then we saw Kareem Lopez. Slightly. Remember, he wouldn't play or couldn't play because of a hamstring issue.
Didn't score, but he was active last night.
No, 11 minutes, 4 rebounds, played really good defense, had a steal, a couple of blocks. That's a lot for a couple of minutes. And you can see the potential of his ability to stay in front of people and have some athleticism. I don't really know how that bodes when it comes to really being in the NBA. You know, Javon Small has played well in the Summer League. We saw he played pretty good at the end of last year. He's a two-way guy. Here's the thing. I say this all the time. In the NBA, you're going to score 100 points. I don't care who's out there. You're going to score 100 points. So when Small was scoring at the end of last year, who else was on the floor? Right? He was going to get points. So I do think if the Grizz make no other moves, Small could oust Walter Clayton as the third point guard. He's not going to beat out Scottie Pippen Jr. He's not going to beat out Ty Jerome. Those are your 1 and 2.
And what are you doing?
Jerome and
what are you doing
Pippen.
with D'Angelo? What are you doing with D'Angelo Russell?
I
Point guard.
I thought that move was a move to make another move. I don't know.
Still can be.
It still can be. And we'll talk with Andy about all of this because the free agency is really just getting underway. So tomorrow, 5:30, why are they doing this? Why is this on Prime Video?
I think initially the first couple of games were on Prime Video. It's just to get eyeballs, though. I think Prime has that type of contract where they are getting this primetime summer league action.
So they're getting they're
a ball player now.
They're getting the semifinals and the finals. So if I want to watch the Grizzlies in these playoffs, I've got to watch watch it on Prime. You know, I've got Prime, I think. I used to have Prime.
Okay, so the winner advances to Sunday, as you just said. Yeah. That'll be 8 o'clock on the ESPN. That'll be on the
that'll
ESPN.
Be on ESPN?
Yep, that'll be on the ESPN, yep.
Because this game on tomorrow on Saturday is 5:30 Prime. So we'll...
And the Laker, what's this, semifinal, Lakers or Warriors, that game, Sunday, will be ESPN. Yeah.
All right, so you looked up something, and because I saw you, smile and raise your hand
I wanted to give Greg Gaston. I wanted to give Greg Gaston his flowers. He is absolutely correct.
No vote.
So it says the White House introduced the Protect College Sports Act and previously debated the SCORE Act. Neither bill has advanced through the House. A parallel version of the Protect College Sports Act passed out of the Senate. That's what it was. Some kind of parallel version of it. But they both face challenging paths to pass. So.
Okay. So nothing's passed.
Nothing's passed.
In either house. Thank you, Greg Gaston. We do appreciate all of that. That is for sure. Media days start. I'm sure our friend Brett Norsworthy has packed his bags already because he's always prepared and ready and organized.
I can just about guarantee it. I'll be filling in for him this evening. So,
oh, he's not going to be here tonight?
Yeah, it'll be me and Brian Dakins on Sports Time.
How about that? So he's already probably boarded an airplane. I heard him talking with Greg Gaston about bridges last night. I never knew that Brett was not afraid of heights. Neither am I. But my wife can't take it. But Greg's aversion of bridges? Come on, Greg. Come on, man. Who's good at PR? It is interesting. We'll talk with Jonah Dillon, final segment, because the Tigers have decided that they are bringing an offensive lineman, Martin Woodsba, who I believe came from Old Dominion. They are bringing Mike Montgomery, the linebacker from Southern Miss. They are not taking a quarterback. Charles Huff is not going to tip his hand as to who his quarterback might be. It's only 2 guys. I thought they might bring 3 because this was a good point Steve Earhart brought up. The Big 12, they brought multiple guys, more than 3 in some occasions, because this is a good way to pay off your NIL. Hey, we're paying you to come and be a representative of us at the media days. I don't know. I'm not sure what the SEC is doing. I do know Brett, honestly, will be there. We got a bunch of people who are sponsoring that, including Bangers Pickleball, Landers Ford in Collierville, Sissy's Log Cabin, our good friends at Jason's Deli, First National Bank and Trust, Jim's Place, Gould's Salon and Spa, Ronnie Grisani's in the Regalia Center, All-Star Chevrolet and Olive Branch, Jim McElroy and Associates, Capitol Grill, and, of course, the Memphis Sports Council and Memphis Tourism. They are involved in all of the SEC Media Day stuff. So that will be fun to watch. And then that's in Tampa, right across the bridge. I think it's I want to say it's Thursday and Friday next week. Jonah Dillon's going to be there. We're going to move him around next week. It'll be the American Media Days. So we look forward to all of that. And I'm looking forward to the Major League second half, which really gets in full. I know the Mets and the Phils played last night, but full slate of baseball today. And you look at the National League Central, Brewers in front of the Cubs with a healthy lead, but the Cardinals are only a half a game out of the wild card. Jordan Walker, maybe one of the stories of the All-Star game weekend, and all the I should say week. So all that good stuff. I think it's going to be a lot of fun to watch baseball.
Friend of the show, Tim Doolin, says they are going to be buyers, not sellers. Cardinals.
The Cardinals?
Mm-hmm.
Well, they should be. They're only a half a game out of the wild card. I'll tell you, every team in the American League should be a buyer because that league, nobody can run away with it. Nobody's any good. At least that's what the announcers were saying at the All-Star game. We're sitting in the Family Leisure Studio. A reminder, the Ultimate Pool Party continues. They've got the above-ground pools. That's where they're totally been experts for like 60 years, under $4,000. They're new at doing the in-ground pools. Man, are they good. State-of-the-art, the newest technology. These in-ground pools start at a really reasonable price, under $50,000, all in-stock patio furniture, price to move. They've been doing this for a while. I got a feeling now it's going to go through July. If you mention us, you get $200 off the purchase of any pool or any spa. Go check it out. The place looks beautiful. Go see Billy. Go see Lindsay. Tell them we sent you. There's something in it for you when you go to Family Leisure. We take a break. When we come back, we're headed to Chicago. Our agent from Priority Sports is Andy Schiffman, and he comes your way next.
Broadcasting from the Family Leisure Studio, we are Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
Chris Price here with Metro Builders Roofing and Restoration. We've seen days, even what seems like weeks of soaking rain, damaging hail, and even flooding. So today, do one simple thing. Look up. If you see a water stain, bubbling paint, or discoloration on your ceiling, don't ignore it. What starts as a small roof leak can quickly become mold, turning a minor problem into a major expense. At Metro Builders Memphis, our professionals will inspect your roof, assess any storm damage, help mitigate further damage. We'll measure your roof from outer space and guide you through the repair or replacement process with an estimate on site with multiple options at that. Don't let them tell you your roof needs to be replaced when all it may need is some love. We'll give you an honest assessment so you can make the right decision for your home and family. At Metro Builders Memphis, call me, 901-375-1717. That's 901-375-1717, or simply book your appointment online at metrobuildersmemphis.com.
Finding great candidates to hire can be like, well, trying to find a needle in a haystack, but not with ZipRecruiter. Its powerful technology actively finds and invites qualified candidates to apply to your job. So while other companies might deliver a lot of hay, ZipRecruiter finds you the needle in the haystack.
See why 4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. Try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free.
ZipRecruiter.
Check it out. Central Barbecue has an app.
Hey, let me see it.
Don't just grab somebody's phone. Jeez.
Oh, okay, then just show it to me.
See?
Oh, wow. Simple, straightforward.
I know. Just tap on the Central Barbecue app, and you can order from any Central Barbecue.
Oh, they've got all 4 locations. They got downtown, Poplar, Summer, and even South Haven.
Yep. Place your order on the Central Barbecue app, and it'll be ready when you arrive. Your food will be ready in 10 minutes, and there are no extra fees for using the app.
Now, that is a sweet deal.
It is a sweet deal.
Now back to Wolo and Friends on Sports 56. Here once again is the voice of the Tigers, Dave Woloshin.
We welcome you back. We're headed to Chicago. Don't breathe the air in Chicago. Those fires from outside of Toronto actually have brought smoke across Chicago, from what I understand. You didn't go running this morning and that stuff, did you? Good morning, Andy.
Good morning. Yeah, I was out in Lake Michigan, breathing it all in. I feel great, Dave. Well, look, I went from Vegas to hazy, smoky Chicago, so I really don't know what's better.
Well, you know that. So I've got a good friend who's a friend of the show, has been on, George Hoffman, a longtime sportscaster from Chicago. We went to high school and college together, and I was talking to him yesterday. He said it's the worst air quality in the history of the city. It's coming from those wildfires, that smoke. They're telling you not to go outside. It's crazy.
Yeah, people are wearing masks. Luckily, I'm able to hop in my car, get to work in a garage, so I'm minimally exposed to the outdoors. But even looking outside my office window, it's definitely pretty bad. So,
how long,
last week was in.
How long are they saying that's going to happen? Stay that's
it's probably a few more days. I thought it was going to dissipate today, but it's just as bad today as it was yesterday. So hopefully by tomorrow we get some clear skies here.
I hope it doesn't drift southward is what I'm thinking about a little bit here. In the meantime, you were in Vegas. The summer league, not Memphis, but a lot of the summer league teams go along with the same philosophy of the league in the regular season. Don't play the stars.
Mm-hmm. I was having a conversation last night with a player who was frustrated because, to your point, these top four teams that are vying for a summer league championship, like that matters.
Right.
They are playing the stars. They're playing the rotational players. You alluded to Memphis. I think the whole thing is starting to really hurt players. And look, I represent a lot of these guys in summer league, right? These players who are not under contract in the NBA, these players who are not on an NBA roster or not drafted, trying to get a two-way out of summer league, trying to earn a training camp invite or a roster spot. Because now, the way summer league is organized, wins matter, but also point differential matters, which I think is absurd to do this in summer league, because then you get down to the later days in summer league, the 16th, 17th, 18th, and 19th, when it's the tournament time, you have these teams that are still, and these coaches trying to prove something, still trying to play their main rotational roster players instead of guys that probably have not seen much action in Vegas the first half of summer league. So it makes my job more difficult, very honestly, Dave. And I get it. It's for the fans. It's not for the agents. But I think from a player's perspective, it definitely is disadvantageous, let's say, to those kind of fringe players trying to go out there and have one or two good games to prove something, whether it's to get a good job in Europe or to showcase for 29 of their NBA teams that are watching. But look, Memphis, to your point, they've done very well. I think they're second overall behind the Lakers. They looked really good with obviously Boozer and Cedric Cowers played really well, and Maximus Prosper and Javon Small had a big one. So they're going to probably keep playing these guys, trying to win this summer league championship, which does not matter.
I agree. I don't mind it. I would like to see Boozer and Coward play together because they're going to play together for sure next year. And I don't really care about a fringe guy trying to make it, to be totally honest with you, as a fan's viewpoint of all this.
Sure.
But that is certainly not the philosophy of the Atlanta Hawks, who did not play their main two draftees from this past draft, and we're down 21-0 and 32-2 at the quarter. But the Grizzlies want to win. Summer League means something to Zach Kleiman. Obviously, this is they were in the final in 19, or they won the championship in 19. They were in the final 2 years ago in 24. They're in the semifinals now this year. So that's 3 times in 7 years that they've been at least in the semifinals.
You're probably the only person that remembers all that. I honestly do not care. Yeah. I mean, I get it. It's great for the Grizzlies to sit there and say that they are competitive in summer league. But again, like, I've had a lot of people say, wow, we look great in summer league, or even preseason. We look great in preseason. It's going to carry over the regular season. It's not. It has no positive correlation to the regular season, as you know. But again, hey, if you're a Grizzlies fan and you spent money to go out to Vegas and you want to watch your team succeed, you're going to watch the rotational players, you're going to watch Cam Boozer, Cedric Coward, to your point, every single game play in Vegas, you've got that opportunity versus, just to your point, if you're a Hawks fan, you're watching guys you probably never heard of. But again, my role as an agent is not always in line with what the fans want to see.
Sure.
And in this case, what the front offices want from their team.
You were there. How is there still a lot of interest in the summer league in Vegas? I know you can watch wall to wall, and you got the casinos right down the street, and you got golf courses, although it's ungodly hot there. Is the summer league prospering the way I think it started to a couple of years ago. I mean, this has become an annual thing that a lot of people, I know a couple of people that are from Memphis who are just fans that decided, you know what, we're going to play a little bit of slots and more, and we're going to play a golf round or two, and we're going to go watch the Grizzlies. Is it doing well? Is it prospering?
Well, to your point, I have some friends from Memphis out there as well doing the same thing, making a whole trip out of it. A lot of people.
Yeah.
Hey, look, I do think it's prospering because it's an event, right? People and fans look at it as a vacation to go see their favorite NBA team, new players that were just drafted. I think the excitement lies around the top draft picks when those guys are playing. If I remember correctly, last week, the first headliner game was Utah against the Wizards. In a regular season game, the stadium wouldn't even be half full for a game like that. But in Summer League, to see the debuts of Darren Peterson with Utah and A.J. DeBansta with Washington, that matchup did not disappoint. Both of those stars played exceptionally well. DeBansta got the better of Peterson, but it was great to see, right? And so those moments are when you have packed gyms on the UNLV campus. There's two gyms, a smaller pavilion, and then connected inside just across the hall is the main UNLV arena where they play their games. And you have packed gyms for those stars playing. A lot of Lakers fans travel over from LA, make a trip out of it for sure. But in these days here at the end of Summer League, when you're getting a Grizzlies-Hawks matchup, it kind of just fizzles out. But I think in the NBA community as a whole, Dave, to your point, it's increasingly popular for all these teams to bring out their veterans to spend time with their team, spend time with the coaching staff. All the NBA head coaches are out there supporting their team, even if they're not coaching on the sidelines. They're there on the sidelines watching with the front office every single game. A lot of the veterans are there working out. I was in the gym, the workout gym one morning. I think it was Saturday morning before the game started, getting the workout in at my hotel. And next to me was Jason Tatum working out with the Celtics trainer. And over on the left was CJ McCollum with the Hawks, stretching and working out. Then you had some NBA front office execs working out as well. So my point is everyone's out there. And if you're a fan of the NBA, it's great to not only see the rookies and the players that I just mentioned trying to make a team and the young roster players, but there are veterans all over the place. The NBA's done a great job in having events and marketing opportunities for these veteran guys. There's parties, there's fashion shows. So for that reason, it continues to become, bigger and bigger every summer.
Last thing on this, I really think it bodes well. You mentioned Peterson and DeBansta in that matchup. Initially, Caleb Wilson had that incredible first game where I think he hit 7 threes in the game. He hit 7 in his entire
I was at that one. It was insane, yeah.
College career, right. So he's got Chicago going crazy. And Boozer's lived up to the billing. So I think it bodes well. All 4 of these top 4 picks played great in Vegas.
They did. And to your point, too, when I talked about, the success of a team in Vegas or an NBA preseason doesn't really translate all the time, doesn't really mean anything, doesn't mean the NBA team won't be successful during the season, but you really can't read too much into it. I do think the success of these young players and these rookies in Summer League has a little bit of crossover during the regular season. I would be concerned, quite honestly, if a top 5 NBA draft pick comes out to Summer League, which we've seen in the past, kind of lay an egg, right? And just do absolutely nothing, struggle mightily. And you've seen that from time and time again. And it just takes those players seemingly a little bit of a longer time to transition to the NBA versus what we've seen from the guys you just mentioned, DeBansta, Peterson, Boozer, Caleb Wilson. Now, seeing what I've seen in Vegas from these young players gives me confidence that, hey, you know what? They are going to make a pretty big impact their rookie season in the NBA. I think DeBansta is an absolute stud. You got Darren Peterson. He's going to have the ball in his hands every play with Utah, and I think with Cam Boozer, he fits in really nicely with the Grizzlies. They've got a lot of nice pieces. And Caleb Wilson, I was telling someone with the Bulls this, his game, it really kind of takes the place of Kobe White, who they lost. Just the way he is in terms of his wiry frame, his ability to score the ball. And again, I think they're going to really make him a focal point of the offense in Chicago. They're not necessarily built to win right now. So I think all those players I just mentioned are going to have the ball in their hands for much of the time with their teams built around them. I'm not so much sure how the Grizzlies will be necessarily built around Cam Boozer. They've got a lot of really nice pieces. Obviously, Zach Edey's still there, our guy, going out and getting Jeremy Grant in that John Morant trade. Like, he's going to play. The guy that averages 19, 20 points a game. Like, he's not throwing. Is he the level of John Morant? No. But I think people are kind of glossing over the fact that the Grizzlies did get him, albeit a little bit older. Like, Jeremy Grant is a really good player. But I do think it's going to be an exciting year to watch all these rookies. We haven't really seen that. Well, I guess we saw it last year with Colin Knipple and DJ Edgecombe and Cooper, obviously.
Yeah.
But, besides the Wemby year, there really hasn't been a lot of excitement with this many top-level lottery stars in the NBA for several years now.
I'm going to just say the Caleb Wilson dunk over like a 7-footer or whoever it was, it seemingly impossible angles to get the ball through. That was unbelievable. I'm excited for the Bulls in Chicago for all of that, for certain. You got to tell me about Zach Edey, because I couldn't believe this. The over-under, somebody had a list of the over-under. The Grizzlies over-under was 26.5 games next year. That to me is the easiest bet in the history of man if Zach Edey is healthy. What's the status on Zach Edey?
Look, we're going into the season expecting him to be healthy. There's nothing right now that gives me concern that he's going to be out for a large portion of the season. I'm not the Grizzlies trainer. I work for the agency that represents him. But he's on the right track. We feel great of where he's at. See how things go once we get into training camp. I'm not sure how much of a load he'll have once he's in training camp. But to your point, if he is healthy, I would definitely pick the over on that amount of wins, that win total they're projecting, and potentially even do so even without Zach Edey.
Well, I don't know about without Zach Edey. They got to have a big man for sure. Boozer, I do think he's going to be a good player. Don't get me wrong, but he needs Zach Edey in there. There's no question in my mind about that. All right, let's get to free agency. Why is LeBron stretching this drama out? Is he just a drama queen that has to have the attention on him, or what's the deal?
Yes, you hit the nail on the head. That's exactly his personality. I wish I could disagree. 1,000%, he and his agent, Rich Paul, they know where they're going. They've known for a long time. They love the spotlight on them, to your point. There's no other explanation. As much as I can say that is a fact, that is a fact. Other players in the league know it. It's holding things up. I think it's silly. I think it's absurd. I think it's unnecessary. This is what the guy does. This is probably his last go-round to make a summer all about him, and he's living it, and he's relishing it, right? So I think the guy should go ahead and make a decision, because what is the point of dragging it on at this point? You know where you're going. It's starting to frustrate other NBA teams who are involved that told me they think they're involved.
I believe that.
And have a chance at him, and it's holding everything else up.
Well, I think it sort of backfires, in my mind, on LeBron. I get it that he's one of the greatest old man players in the history of the game, and I get it that he will make a difference on any of those 6 possible teams that he's going to go to. But he's being incredibly selfish. He's mucking it up for all these other teams that are waiting for him to go to figure everything out. And I think public opinion has to be swaying the other way on the guy, because they're all going, "Come on, man, you're really hurting all these other guys just for your own ego."
Well, I think public opinion just doesn't really care about the other guys, right? Because at this point, there are not a lot of other guys out there. Now, I have a player that is impacted by his decision, because if he does not choose Golden State, then I think they're going to pivot to one of my clients. But again, we can't do anything with him until we know.
Can you say who that client is?
I can't say who it is right now. It's a recognizable longtime NBA veteran. Is it of LeBron status? No. But it is a rotational player who's been around for about 10 years in the NBA. And it affects what they can do, because their hands are tied, Golden State, to figure out how much money they're going to have if LeBron decides to come there. If he does not, then it opens things up. I don't think he's going there right now, But again, you never know. I think his opinion and what the rumors you hear, it changes every single day, Dave. And you've got Philadelphia, who thinks they're a player in this. I think Miami thinks they could be a candidate. Obviously, Cleveland seems like potentially they're the front runner, but you just never know with LeBron. All of a sudden, he could pivot and go to Indiana.
Right.
You just never know.
Where
he loves the attention. He loves the spotlight.
Just give me your gut feel. Where does he end up? Most people think Cleveland. Yeah. Okay.
I think Cleveland. I do think Cleveland.
For how much? Is he going to give a hometown discount and take the veteran minimum?
Well, I don't know if he'll take the veteran minimum, but he's not going to go out there and make $30 million a year because they don't have the ability to do that. They don't have tools to do that, right?
He doesn't need the money.
If
you Google his net worth, he's somewhere between $1.5 billion and $2 billion. Come on, the guy.
If you Google his net worth, it won't even fit on the computer screen, Dave. So, I think that Cleveland, if they do believe they're going to get him, they're going to free up as much money as they can, which potentially means moving off some of the guys they do have, including some priority sports clients. Potentially a Dennis Schroeder or Max Strus, shipping those guys out with nothing in return. But yeah, he's not going to go out there and command a $30 million plus salary. It'll just be interesting to me to see how he fits. Again, we always talk about fit, but like LeBron, Donovan Mitchell, James Harden, I like it. I like the idea of it, but I don't necessarily know where the shot's going to come from. And we've seen this before with like three superstars. Obviously, LeBron is older. Harden is older. Donovan Mitchell is still great, but he's injured here and there, banged up. But I do, again, right now, and I'm saying this with no conviction whatsoever, other than just what I hear from NBA personnel. Seems like everyone thinks Cleveland, but don't hold me to it, Dave. Like I said, 48 hours from now, we can wake up and see him in a completely different jersey we never even talked about.
Yeah, well, I could end up in Miami, that's for sure, playing with Giannis. I don't know if that works or not, but it would be interesting to see. Andy, as always, we appreciate it. We'll talk again next Friday.
Sounds good. Thanks, Dave.
That's our guy. That is Andy Schiffman on the NBA. He's brought to you by Southern Security. Whether you're a small business owner, maybe you're buying your first home, guess who's there for you? The incredible credit union that has been voted number one credit union in the area for 7 straight years. It's always outstanding service, always outstanding technology. Check out the new building they have in Collierville. How about the best, in fact, unbeatable rates? They're not for profit. They can do things banks cannot do, and they do it for sure. And you can join so easily. All you got to do is talk to a human being at 901-452-7900 or go to southernsecurity.org. They're all over the place, by the way. They got 7 locations. So there's one near you. Southern Security, your home team credit union, federally insured by NCUA. And this portion of the show is brought to you by Miramichi. I will be there tomorrow. Can't wait. Can't wait to practice my game. I always go a little early. The best practice facilities in all of Memphis when it comes to public golf courses, I promise. And the Memphis public courses have good ones now, but not like Miramichi. Biggest, like the only one with a sand trap to learn how and a chipping green. And then you've got the putting green that's huge. And, of course, just a monstrous driving range with a members only. You can become a member, by the way, very reasonably priced. And you got this great golf course, 7,400 yards to where the women play at, about 5,000 yards, and beautiful, 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 especially that back 9 with a meandering stream, which, by the way, is now on full blast. And then you've got this great deck between 9 and 18 with the best view in Shelby County. It's only 25 minutes away from East Memphis in Woodstock. Go check out the full golf experience at Miramichi. Back in just a minute with Jonah Dillon from the Commercial Appeal in just a minute.
Be sure to download our Hub 901 app for instant access to Sports 56 and all the Flynn broadcasting stations from anywhere. Go to the App Store and get the Hub 901 app today.
Frame Corner, custom framing your art since 1975, is your go-to for precision designs and craftsmanship. Bring your cherished collectibles, fine art, and sports memorabilia to Frame Corner and experience expert customer care with attention to every detail. Specializing in framing and displays of sports jerseys and items ranging from little leagues to the big leagues, SEC to the NBA. Visit Frame Corner, 5035 Park Avenue near Mount Moriah, or online at framecornermemphis.com. Frame Corner, Memphis' top pick for custom framing.
Hi, this is Troy Fiveash, owner of Fiveash Roof Services. I wanted to take a minute and discuss advertising with you. There are so many websites that list the best service provider in your area. Even the BBB has an accredited list. You know the one thing they all have in common? A company like mine has to pay to get on that list. So that begs the question, can those lists be trusted? You know what can be trusted? History. We've been around for almost 30 years providing customers with the best service and the best products that we possibly can. So if you need a roof, siding, or gutters, give us a call. We'll come talk to you and let you decide for yourself whether or not we know what we're talking about. Fiveash Roof Services. Best products, best warranties, and in many cases, the best price. We're fair, honest, and ethical. 367-0050 or memphisroofer.com. 367-0050 or memphisroofer.com.
Fiveash Roofing, it's what we do. We're here for you.
It's time for SEC Media Days. Join Brett Norsworthy as he broadcasts live from Tampa next Monday through Thursday, previewing the upcoming SEC football season and brings you interviews with players, coaches, and SEC insiders. Tune into Sports Time with Stats and Bryant Dacus from 3 to 6, and also hear from Stats throughout the day for SEC Media Days coverage on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. Brought to you by First National Bank and Trust, Jason's Deli, Gould's Salon and Spa, Jim's Place in Collierville, and All-Star Chevrolet in Olive Branch.
Now back to Wolo and Friends on Sports 56. Here once again.
This just in. Former Titans running back Chris Johnson to be inducted into the franchise's Ring of Honor. You talk about speed. I remember watching him in college. Running by everybody. Now he's run into the Titans Ring of Honor. We're going to talk media days and a whole lot more with the Tiger football beat writer from the Commercial Appeal, Jonah Dillon. He's brought to you by Cadillac. You know, I like calling Jonah the Cadillac of college football beat writers. What does it mean? Cadillac up means the highest standard. That's exactly what it means, and that's what you get when you talk about Landers Cadillac of Memphis. There's nobody better in the car business than Landers. There's no better car, the Cadillac of cars, Cadillac. And that's what you get, the best of the dealers and the best of the cars. That's the combination with Landers, and they always pay top dollar for trades. You can save even more if you get the Landers Easy Pass. You do that by going to Landers Easy Pass at CadillacofMemphis.com. The best new Cadillac models are always in stock, but they go fast. So if I were you, I'd get there on Poplar. And remember, if it doesn't say Landers, you paid too much. Jonah Dillon, about to go to St. Petersburg. You got sunscreen. You ready sort of to hit St. Pete Beach? What are you going to do while waiting for Charles Huff? And we got two guys, Martin Woodsma and Mike Montgomery, two guys that weren't a part of this team last year. Good morning. What are your thoughts on all that?
Yeah, well, first of all, I just looked at the forecast, and it says it's going to rain on Thursday and Friday. So let's hope that doesn't happen.
My heart's just breaking for you, Jonah. Just
hoping to spend some time at the beach. That's we look when the schedule comes out. Especially, I remember last year being like, okay, the first conference game at FAU, and people are like, oh, that's kind of far away. And I was thinking that means I get to go to the beach.
Yeah.
And that was the number one takeaway. So we'll see how that goes. That's obviously the plan is definitely try to get to the beach. We'll see how it turns out. But once we get to Friday, it's pretty. The way they do media day, especially now in the American, is it's pretty much just nonstop. Once they start in Tim Pernetti, and then obviously all the coaches kind of back to back to back, and there's a lot of stuff because that's our one opportunity, obviously, to get everyone in the same spot. And really, it's a good opportunity to kind of gauge the way everybody feels about this conference. And this feels like the most wide open American Conference title race that I can remember.
Well, the ESPN Power Rankings we'll get to in just a second are. I was surprised, especially at the top, but we get to that momentarily. Let's talk about Woodsma, the offensive lineman from Old Dominion, and Montgomery, the linebacker who came from Southern Miss. Any thought, surprise in your mind? There's not one guy they didn't bring back that might have been a player last year for the U of M and knows about the school and the city a little bit more?
Yeah, I mean, part of it is obviously you want to bring guys who are going to be leaders and who are going to be clear, significant contributors, starters. Both those guys clearly are going to be starters and have played a lot of football and started a lot of football games at their respective schools. At this day and age of college football, right, it's about familiarity. And so Martin Woodsma comes from Old Dominion. He was obviously with Kevin Decker, who's Memphis' offensive coordinator,
Right.
so a lot of familiarity there. And then Mike Montgomery was at Southern Miss with Charles Huff. So you see that. You see those guys are obviously upperclassmen. They're going to play major roles, and you want people at media days who are going to kind of promote your program and the values that you have and the team that you have and the leadership and all that. And because look, teams will bring a quarterback if they have a guaranteed starter. Obviously, Memphis has a quarterback competition. So usually that means they're not going to bring somebody. Last year they brought Brendan Lewis, even though they said the competition was still ongoing. I think that was a pretty big tell of where the competition was going, the fact that he was at media day. And so coaches don't want to tip their hands with those things. And that's why I think that decision was made.
What do you think Charles Huff will be asked the most? I know you prepped your stuff, but as a league, and there will be people from, I'm assuming, all over the place, all kinds of different cities that'll be involved. USF will probably have the larger contingent of press because it's right across the bridge. But what do you think will be the most asked question of Huff?
Yeah, I mean, I think quarterback competition obviously will be one, but I think he's going to get asked the same thing a lot of coaches are going to get asked, which is what are your expectations for this season? And I think for Charles Huff, it's a really interesting question. Obviously, he kind of addressed it when he came in at his introductory press conference, right? All this stuff about close the gap. But when we get to this point in the offseason, like I was saying earlier, it feels so wide open in this conference. I think a lot of people who are there, media members, either who cover the conference at large or one of the teams, are going to be going in thinking, you know, how do I gauge kind of the pecking order in this conference? And one of the people you want to ask that question to is Charles Huff, both in terms of what do you expect from the conference this year, and then what do you expect from your team? Because on one hand, he's coming in with an almost completely new roster, right? Not a lot of returning contributors, and a program that has won a lot of games over the past couple of years and wants to get to the conference championship, right? He made that clear when he came in. And so you have it's a new coach and a lot of new players year one, where the expectations, but you also have this program is primed to compete at the highest levels of this conference. And so the question is, what do you expect year one? And what is a fair kind of bar to put on this team for success in 2026?
You said, the theme close the gap on getting to that conference championship. According to ESPN, the gap is pretty large because they're picked fifth. Their number one pick was Tulane, which to me was very surprising. One, they've lost their quarterback. They've lost a lot of players, in fact, and they lost their coach. And the coach that they're bringing in, Hall, is, I think by most people's measure of the four vacancies, that was the most surprising and, least glorified of all the four replacement picks for the head coaching jobs in the conference.
Yeah, it's definitely interesting. I think the takeaway from those metrics and from a lot of the preseason rankings is basically this: nobody has any idea what's going to happen in this conference this year. The metrics don't know, people don't know, and that'll make it fascinating when the games actually start. And I think it'll be an interesting talking point next week at media days. But you look at Tulane, obviously a lot of success, more success than anybody else in the conference over the past few years. They've had some really good football coaches, right? Willie Fritz and John Sumrall, both of them are gone. And Will Hall is a really interesting hire in terms of his track record, and he doesn't have the same track record as those guys did coming in. So that makes it a difficult proposition of what is this team going to be, because the baseline of success is there. And Tulane has, like I said, been more successful than all these other teams over the past couple of years. They are bringing back some players. It's not a completely new roster. And they have a lot of the same coaching staff as they had last year. So it's going to be interesting to see how that plays out when the season starts. But I think when you look at most projections, people are not going to pick Tulane as a top team in this conference.
No, a lot of them picking Navy. In the ESPN, it was East Carolina number 2, which I don't really have a problem with that. They got a lot of the continuity back from a decent team a year ago. They got better as the year went on. Then ESPN says Navy, and most people think Navy, but they lost Blake Horvath. Man, that guy was pretty special. I'll be curious to see, how they are. Then USF and Memphis, well, those are your two biggest NIL spenders. And then UTSA with the guy he may be the dean of the coaches now, right? But they can't win on the road, which is probably why they're not higher. I'll be really anxious to see what your preseason power ranking will be.
Yeah, I'm still waiting to make my decisions. I like to use media to talk to some coaches and kind of gauge how people feel about other teams. So I'll probably have a better idea of it after that. But I think you look at all those teams, right? And the bottom line for me is you can convince me that any of those teams are the best team in the conference. And you could also convince me that they're not even up there, right? Like they shouldn't even be in the top 2 or 3, because all of those teams have talent and they have legitimate reasons to believe that they could win the conference. And they also have major, major question marks about their team and about their roster and potentially their coaches. And so you don't have this tier. A lot of conferences, if there's not a favorite, you have maybe a tier of 2 or 3 teams, and you can look at those and say, well, those are the favorites. And that's the way it's been in the American. You've been thinking the past couple of years. You've gone into preseason being like, okay, these are the 4 teams that look like they're above everyone else. This year, I don't see any separation because I just think there are so many question marks with these teams. And it's going to shift a lot preseason, I think, and over the first couple weeks of the season in terms of we actually see these teams play. And we see these new rosters come together, and then we have a better idea going to conference play.
I think it's going to be a lot of fun to watch. In Memphis, I mean, if they were to start off 3-0, they would be in the driver's seat for the playoff. And but how tough is that going to be with at Vegas? Then Arkansas State, they consider you a rival, and Butch Jones is no slouch. And then you got to go to Boise, which is considered the best of the G6. So, wow, the start will determine, I think, mentally how Memphis will play within the league, but we'll wait and see on that. Last thing, real quick, because you also cover the Grizz, and you did the story on the Grizz Summer League win last night, where it was 21-0 and 32-2. Wow. Why do you think it's important for the Grizzlies brass to win Summer League championships? This is their 3rd playoff semifinal in 7 years.
Yeah, look, it's clearly important to the players. This is, I think now especially, this is obviously a team that these guys who were actually on the Grizzlies team, they haven't won a lot of games over the past couple of years, and last year especially. And so this is an opportunity to compete and to win. And look, unless you have an injury issue, you might as well play, right? And so I've been impressed. These guys are playing really hard. I mean, that's 32-2 in 1 quarter. It doesn't just happen, right? They're coming out and they obviously had to win that game by a lot because of the point differential, and they did. And so, look, if they're going to keep playing their guys, a lot of teams aren't. And I think it's fair to say this team should be the favorite to win these next 2 games, especially on the evidence of what we saw last night. The question is, does that help you springboard? Does that help these guys not only winning, but just being the confidence that potentially they would take from it? Is it going to help them when they get to the season? And it's not always the case.
And does it sell tickets? Hey, look at these guys. They won a championship. We got Zach Edey back. Ty Jerome's going to play.
It's exciting. I feel like it's something to root for.
Yeah. And, I just hope Zach Kleiman adopts the same philosophy in the regular season that he does in the Summer League and plays the guys. That would be what I would hope for. Jonah Dillon, we'll shuffle you around. We'll talk to you either Tuesday or Wednesday of next week.
Sounds good.
All right. Thank you. We appreciate you. Jonah, brought to you by good old Sheldon, who gets the job done. He'll tell you temperatures are soaring. The interest rates around homes, the inventory, it's climbing. And when you want to sell your home, who you going to call? Well, you want the job done, you call Sheldon Rosengarten, Mark Spensdorf Realtors, because this is a guy who sold houses in good markets, bad markets, even terrible markets, and the market's not so bad now. Don't take it for granted. Your friend or your relative or your neighbor who might be in the real estate business can do that for you. You make sure you talk to 2 or 3 real estate brokers and make sure one of them is my guy, Mr. Sheldon, and then you be the judge. He's got this highly successful strategic marketing program that means the difference in when you sell and when you make that money. In this market, your home needs to be in the sweet spot to beat the competition because it's hot. All you got to do to get the leg up is to call or to email Sheldon. It's memphisrelocate.com or 483-0546. That's right. He's got relocate in the name. That's memphisrelocate.com or 483-0546. Sheldon Rosengarten. That does it for us. Have a great weekend, everybody. Stay cool. Johnny Radio's next. We'll see you on Monday.